What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. We are in the Copper King Gate this week, which is a shock stratum. Which is going to be, well, gremlins for some reason. They don't seem very shocking, but whatever. We are here. Can I take a moment to note that I mentioned last week, oh, my friends list is full. More people added me this week, or attempted to add me in the game, than any week before. Everyone's like, oh, his friends list's full. That's a really good time to add him as a friend. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. I have not taken the time to go through and do any pruning, so I still can't add anybody, so... yeah, sorry, I haven't added anybody. Oh, there are 4 healers! How and why and no! Die! Don't you dare! No! No! And you die! Okay. No reviving. No reviving allowed. Jeez. There's another one in there as well. That if I let him out, he's gonna revive all of them. God damn it. Ooh, okay, let's do some Spiral Knights news. Yeah! We have more prize boxes. Of course we have more prize boxes. Why wouldn't we have more prize boxes? We have prize boxes. It is, or very recently it was on Friday, the Equinox, which they always do a promo for the Equinoxes. They have been doing for the last 2 Equinoxi. I don't know what the plural of an equinox is. Equinoxes, I suppose. So yeah, the shiny celestial stuff is back, including the shiny celestial sword, which is actually really pretty. Not drastically different to the Leviathan blade, although slightly different, which is, you know, always a point of contention. The fact that it is in any way, shape, or form different to the Leviathan blade is like, well, you shouldn't really be selling it then, but hey, there's not a lot we can do. They are selling it, it is there, you can buy it. It may, if we're lucky, be on the Supply Depot page. Maybe? Maybe? No, they don't want to show us any promos. God damn it. Oh, it's actually ended. Oh, that did not last long. That lasted like less than a week. Huh, okay. That's why it's not on the page. Okay, that's over, that's finished. I didn't even get a chance to tell you about it. That popped up last Wednesday, you know, after I recorded my video, like things tend to do. And which ones do I want to let out first? You guys, like, yeah, why would I go for the one that was about to swing his axe? Jeez. Yeah. And that's already gone. If you wanted that stuff, that's gone. It did have something slightly new in it. It had, damn you stunning me. It had the, god damn you reviving things. Stop reviving things. No. It had accessories in. With the Celestial gear, they've not done Celestial accessories before, so now there are Celestial accessories doing the rounds. Go find them on the auction house now, I guess, if you wanted them. I did not partake of that, because I don't tend to with the promos, to be honest, but there you go, that's the stuff. It's back, there's a few new shinies. It's also, well, it was back and now it's gone again, so, news is news, and that's what's going down. I have scarcely kept track of the torture drone thing. I don't think anyone else has, so I have no idea if that's still around. I could have a quick glance at the mission interface if there are 2 healers in there. Why are there so many healers in this level? Ouch. Totally worth it to kill 2 healers, though. I'll take an axe to the face in order to kill 2 menders. Good lord, man. Die. Alrighty, so yeah, that's about the size and shape of the news there. Oh, hey, everyone's dead. Let's bring up a mission interface. Yeah, they're gone. Oh, wait, hang on. Is that right? No, prestige is what I want. Yes, they're gone. Cool. Okay, well, that's that sorted. Mystery resolved. So, let's do some questions, because that's what we do here on Spiral Spiel. You guys, send me your questions in the comments, or wherever else you fancy doing them. An Elite Orb. Hey, now that's a turn up for the books. I won't say no to an Elite Orb. Yes. So you guys send me the questions in the comments, or indeed on Twitter, or wherever the hell you feel is most appropriate to send it. I feel like in the comments is probably the most appropriate place to send it, but wherever catches your fancy. If you want to support me on Patreon, you could leave the comments in the Patreon comments. That'd be a novel thing to do. You could do that, or like I say, Twitter or wherever. I'm not too fussy. In-game mail works, although I can't copy-paste it, so it makes more work for me, and I will be... first world problems, I know, but I will be slightly grumpy as I try to run it through an OCR thing to save me typing it out, because damn you, making me work. But other than that, yeah, wherever's good. Send me questions. I will mention your name, and you'll have a mention in a name of a sort of vaguely, mildly, barely successful YouTube channel making videos. And your name will be heard by at least 200 people. So that's a reason to give me your questions. As if I have not stressed this recently, since obviously I had a lot of new subscribers lately, if I have not stressed this recently, I'm trying to keep this. Season, which will run through till about November, more intellectual, more sort of stimulating topics, things that are fascinating to talk about, rather than just what is your favorite weapon in Spiral Knights. And I have had a lot of those questions lately, and I'd prefer to steer away from those because I've done 2 years of answering those kind of questions already. So continue on for a third year. Not my greatest passion in life, if I'm honest. I'd rather talk about spaceships and things. Spaceships are cool. Or Soylent or whatever. We've talked about a lot of interesting things. It's been really great. You guys have been good. You guys have been very good to me. I'd like that to continue. We've got a good thing going. So, got a couple questions. Whilst it's rumbling in the background and reminding me, I apologize if there's any background noise on this video. There might not be, but I can hear it through my headset, so it sounds like it's pretty loud and might be picked up on microphone. My neighbours are doing some really obnoxious DIY, and they have been doing for like the last week or so, and I thought they'd stopped, but they've started up again now that I've started recording, obviously. So they're drilling through brick walls or something, so I did some test recording earlier just to see if my microphone did pick up them drilling, and I don't think it did, so it's probably okay. But like I said, I can hear it in the background behind my headset. It's like, surely my microphone must pick that up. So if you can hear that, sorry, not a lot I can do other than tell them to get lost. And I don't think they'd take too kindly to that, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, let us move on to questions. Also, take a moment to celebrate. Yay! Treasure vault, lazy level, and I get loot, and we get some awesome music, because I love the music in this level. It's got some of the best music in the game. I love this level. Yay! Happy music for loots. Sweet. So, questions. One that I believe I left off last week. It's still straying same kind of territory of things we've already talked about before, but whatever, we shall go into it a bit more. Alivai says, do you think the search for a new planet before us might be useless? We would need to have warp travel or another similar process, which is the sort of thing we have discussed at great length over the course of this series. Interstellar travel has been of great interest to us. We need to have warp travel or another similar process for that kind of speed, even though warp technically isn't moving faster than light, just to go to the planet after finding it. It could just end up being uninhabitable and we all die. Well, that's a very pessimistic way of looking at it. I would like to think that scientists wouldn't just send people to another planet without having some sort of contingency plan for, sort of keeping people alive, although it does sound like the Mars 1 program is kind of going down that route. Anytime anyone actually, does the, actually checks the numbers and the science on the people who are running the Mars 1 program, which if you've not heard about that one, there's kind of like an independent organization wants to, it sounds like make a reality TV show out of sending a group of people to Mars, and it's going to be funded mostly through TV, I guess? And you have to pay a chunk of money to sign up to the program, and then I think they recently picked out the astronauts actually for it. It's not like they're going through, it's not like it's NASA where you have to be a peak of physical fitness. No, this is, well, you probably have to be pretty reasonably fit, but like I say, it's just kind of an online application rather than, being highly qualified in your field. Oh my god, is that what I think that is? Whoa! It does exist! It totally does exist! Oh my god, we're gonna have to find an excuse to use that. Hello. Yes. My word. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Let's find, I don't know, can we get an arena or something? Is there any arenas? I think there was an arena, but I think I've passed it. Damn. That's the first time I've seen that. That's good. Still finding new things. 3 to 4 years later in this game, I'm still finding new things. And that is good. It's, well, very rare that I'm finding the new things, but they're there. So yes, the Mars One program, it doesn't sound quite as professionally organized as something like NASA. Like I said, they tend to pick some of the best and brightest people in the world who are also at the peak of physical fitness, and then train them for many years to be even better than they already are, and then send them to space. Whereas these guys are like, hey, anybody in the world is free to apply through our online application form, and it's like, that's okay, that's a thing, sure. And someone, it may have been NASA or I can't remember who did this. Someone recently put out a paper saying, look, we've been through what Mars One is proposing, and we have concluded, it might have been Harvard or someone actually, come to think of it, they were like, our conclusion is that everybody will die on day 63 or something of this mission. It's like, it's all good up until the point at which, like, the first crop of corn matures or something. You're going to send all these crops to keep them sustained. But the bit you haven't thought about is this bit where you suddenly have a big crop of plants which are producing a lot of oxygen, all becomes flammable, and the only way to do that is going to be to vent the air. So it's either you're going to have a massive explosion which destroys everything because that's the way you've got it set up, they are producing a lot of flammable material that's just going to explode at some point, or you're going to have to vent all of the oxygen out of the complex, and you're all going to suffocate. So about day, I think it was 63, it's like, on day 63 the whole thing will be over. It's like, great, so if you go to Mars with these guys, you got about a year's flight to Mars. I'm not sure how long it exactly takes, a little over a year I think. And then you got 2 months on Mars, and then you're dead. So, you know what, I'm not gonna sign up for that program. I wouldn't entirely recommend anyone else did either. Haunted Passage, let's put some gear on for that. Now, got my what I normally just go ghosts, equip that. That's not a good choice, all things considered, when one considers that has, yeah, a bunch of shock weakness, and this is a shock stratum. So I'm gonna throw my divine mantle on, and I'm gonna throw that's got shock weakness. That's shock weakness on it? I didn't know that had shock weakness on it. I got the Mercurial Helm, but that's piercing resistance. It's gonna have to be Snarlax, I think. Yoink, Snarlax hat. Okay, we good. I think we're good. Are we good? Oh, I'm running around with my Snarlax hat on. Okay. I should probably have found my chapeau, but Snarlax time it is. It's fine, that's fun. I never wear anything different, so a little bit of variety in life, maybe. So yeah, I would like to think anybody doing an actual genuinely interstellar mission would probably have the resources and technology. Again, going to science fiction territory, these things are usually portrayed as being massive, massive colony ships with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people on board them, and, you know, the ability to set up a colony and begin some basic terraforming processes when they arrive, you know. Having the equipment to actually do that. I mean, I've talked about terraforming processes before, and that would require sending a lot of equipment. If you're going to set up the colony and terraform it all in one go, yeah, you need a really, really big ship. We're talking massive colony, potentially generation ships. God damn it, what am I doing here today? I'm just blowing myself up over and over again, and I'm really struggling to grab my shield button for some reason. Like, I mentioned this last week about my new keyboard, which is just not well suited to things. I can't defend myself with this keyboard. It's not good. Okay, I got you. You dropped hearts. This is important. Tell you what. Let's throw a heart attack down so we get some health from these guys. And damn you! Accursed cats. Which is... they literally are. They are accursed. You dropped nothing of value. But I will take them anyway. So there we go. So... yeah, like I said, the issue of it would be uninhabitable. Nobody's going to send a bunch of people to an uninhabitable planet and you're just going to die. No, they'll send, like I say, it would be... the main thing that comes to mind for me, and I mentioned this author and his works before, is Alistair Reynolds. His current series that he's working on, I think the third book is due out in a couple of months, actually, in this series. Oh, it's a good run for orbs today, hello. I think the third book in the series is due out, is the Blue Remembered Earth trilogy. I think the trilogy might have a different name, but the first book is Blue Remembered Earth. The second book, which I read last year, basically revolves in a large part about life on a massive colony ship. It's not actually a generation ship insofar as within the context of the story. Longevity treatments are such that the people that are on the ship are the same people who set off, but the ship still takes like 100, 150 years to get there, but the people live long enough that that's actually not an issue. But yeah, in that one, I think the planet they lived on was not super ideal for humans, but livable. You know, it had an oxygen-rich atmosphere such that humans could live on it and breathe. It's not exactly the same composition as Earth, but it was no problem, you know. So they didn't do that, but they still had, as we're talking about, a ship the size of a city. Red Dwarf is a good analogy, perhaps, actually. Yeah, a massive, massive ship containing many, many people. I think the ships in that story were about 1 million people. And yes, you would need relativistic drives. They were, again in the story, they were looking at drives that could go a few percent of the speed of light. I don't know if it was like 5% the speed of light. The exact figure eludes me, but yeah. Well, it doesn't need to be almost light speed, but it would be, the faster you could get, the better. That's obviously way outside of our realms of technology, and again, this is stuff we've covered, but it's kind of like everything we've talked about in the last 17 episodes all combined to say that actually, if we could do all the things I've talked about in the last 17 episodes, they shouldn't be too big a deal. If we were to, you know, try to go to, I don't know, Epsilon Eridani today or wherever, you know, pick an exoplanet, it wouldn't be too great. We'd be taking a few millennia to get there, and we wouldn't know what we were doing when we got there either. So it would be a miracle if we made it there. That's kind of the state of affairs at this point in human existence. So we ain't doing that today, except for Mars One, who wants to do that in like the next 10 to 20 years. I'm not sure exactly when they're planning to set off. If you call it, they've done like Reddit AMAs and stuff on the Mars One program, and there's like, oh, if you call them out on any of the things, it's like, what about all this research that says your stuff just ain't gonna work? They're like, yeah, but we haven't finished perfecting it yet. We've got like 10 years to work on it. It'll be ready in 10 years' time. I was like, well, I admire your optimism. It's just, okay. To be fair, that's true. They do, yeah, when it's like, oh yeah, they're all going to explode and die on day 63, well, yeah, but that's a hurdle to overcome within the next 10 years, and that's plenty of reasonable time to work on that. I still don't entirely want to put my faith in any kind of organization that is trying to get me to sign up for their travel to other planets mission when they haven't really actually come to solutions for all the problems yet. We're like, yeah, we're still kind of working on keeping you alive. It's like, I'd rather you figured out how to keep me alive before I agreed to go along with your crazy plan. But hey, some people want to go to Mars really badly, I guess. It's crazy. I think a lot of people said, you know what, but when you start doing that, you kind of want to be on, like, a few ships down the line. You know, the first ones are the ones who actually have to get everything set up. Second ones are going to have it pretty rough. By the time you've got a few ships worth of people have got there, they've got everything set up, then it might be a reasonable place to go and live. You know, after a few ships have gone there, you can go when everything's running. Once they've got an atmosphere and a place to live and food and, yeah. Then you could go to another planet. That'd be alright. But if you were the first person on the planet, trying to make it a place to live, that'd be pretty rough. Be very rough. So yeah, that's that. Slimy Businessman asks, it is said in the next 100 years the world will be in a very bad state of climate change, which will lead to everything everybody is saying, the South Pole will melt, etc. Even though we probably can't stop this, what do you think will happen to countries such as Ireland or UK? Will they decrease in size because of water level rising? Do you think we'll be able to build walls to stop the rise of water? Will modern technology in 100 years withstand the change and make it possible to reverse changes in the water level? I apologize, I think I've been hanging on to this question for a very long time, and I was kind of going through my notes, I was like, I haven't answered that one yet. I really should do that. And I didn't make a note of what the heck I'm actually fighting here. What are we doing here? Is this sounds like a... Oh, Gremlin Grounds. Oh. I need an excuse to use that. I need to remember to use that turret. But I'm not sure where I'm going to get a chance to use it in Gremlin Grounds. Need to find like a Gremlin arena thing. Game, please give me a Gremlin arena, because I want to use that. I mean, how did I make that through that without getting hit by a shock dude? That was surprising, I will say. I've been blown up by so many. I'm getting really cautious with these because I've blown up so many of these so far in my face. I'm like, I don't want to do more of those. I want to just not blow up today. Can I stop blowing up? That'd be nice. Alrighty, so yes, on to the question of water level. There's a lot of tools and maps and things out there. People have already done the calculations. You can Google it. I mean, climate change water level map, I think, is the search terms I use, which brought up some reasonable stuff. There's a nice tool on geology.com that is just basically, it just uses Google Maps and then superimposes a blue layer over it. It uses, I guess, topographical data to say what heights land masses are at, and allows you to raise the water level by how much you see fit to, you know, play about with. If you say, oh, the water's going to go up by 5 meters, and it'll just highlight in blue all the areas that are, you know, topographically speaking, below 5 meters in height. It's not going to be super accurate when you bear in mind that there might be stuff that is kind of lowlands within the middle of a continent. That's, you know, it's actually going to be cut off from the... Which one do I want? I want that one. It's going to be cut off from the ocean, so it's not necessarily actually going to flood. It's just kind of lowlands, so it's not going to be super accurate, but it gives you a good handle on things, really. And what will happen to UK and Ireland when the water level rises? Initially, not too much. Depends how much the water level rises, I guess. I mean, you kind of occasionally hear estimates like, oh, it's going to go up by a few meters or whatever, and it's like, okay, what does that mean? You can actually map it now, and that's useful. Checking National Geographic, the interesting article I found there, which was if all the ice in the world melted, or both the polar ice caps and all that surrounds it melted, the water levels would rise by about 65 meters. Which is more than I realised, actually. That's quite a lot. That is a very long way, actually. So, yeah, didn't quite expect that. And, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, the map that I was using... The map that I was using only mapped up to 60 meters height, so it is roughly equivalent of almost all the ice on the world melting if you used that map. Large part of everything except probably like a little bit of Antarctica or something. And if you do that, yeah, there's a lot of world underwater. Florida disappears, like, entirely, pretty much, if not entirely. Denmark becomes kind of an archipelago of islands. Netherlands becomes, like, 5 islands. Very small islands as well, I will add. UK looks very interesting. It's much smaller than it was. Where I am, I actually don't end up underwater if that happens, so nuts to the rest of you, I'm fine. I'm kind of like fairly smack bang in the middle of the country, so when the water levels rise, I say when, I mean I guess they will, but probably not, hopefully not by 60 meters, that would be tragic. When the water levels rise, I guess I just moved to the coast basically. I just more of a coastal kind of city is where I live now. I can go to the beach every day, which would be nice. Hey, and the temperature would be a lot warmer as well, so hey, might be quite nice for me. Hey, bring on climate change. Sunny days and living by the beach. That's my future of climate change, potentially. I don't know. It could also be a very grim future as well. I suspect it's probably the latter. So let's not do that. I'm quite happy with where I am, to be honest. So, yeah, that's... initially, when you just raise it by a few meters, it's not a dramatic and drastic change. The east coast of the UK is kind of the most badly affected, kind of around by your Norfolk kind of region, sort of north of Cambridge. That area ends up underwater fairly quickly, and around the River Humber, kind of in your northeast area, that ends up underwater fairly quickly, and that ends up forming... heads inland and forms the coast around where I live. If you keep running that in that direction, if you keep upping the water level, as it were. And you know what? I'm going to throw the turret down in the middle of this because it's going to be the closest thing I'm going to get to an actual arena fight in here, I think. So let's get to the middle of this. There's going to be like 3 waves of enemies, and I'm going to drop my turret just to fight them. Otherwise I'm quite frankly going to forget to use it. so I don't want to forget to use it. So, yeah, here we go. Oh, I wanted to put it in the middle. Why does it take us... it takes a second to activate. Okay, it's fine. So that's gonna do... It's not like I haven't seen these before. Don't you destroy my thing. Don't you. Don't you do that. I don't need you to destroy my thing. That's not a thing I need you to do. Does it have a health meter? Does it actually have... Or does it just keep going? I'm not sure where... they're attacking it, which would suggest it can be destroyed, but... I don't know. Hard to tell. Okay, let's get rid of the healer. So yeah, those are interesting tools to play around. A lot of your kind of around Bangladesh kind of area gets hit pretty bad. That's the one everyone always says. You know, if anyone's talking about water level rising, it's like, well, Bangladesh is very, very low-lying kind of region. Bangladesh and surrounding countries would have a lot of issues with flooding were the water levels to rise. Indeed, New York would be pretty badly hit, actually, those kind of regions. Louisiana would be pretty badly hit, fairly low-lying region there. Out of mild curiosity, I did look at Boston, Massachusetts. That ends up pretty much underwater as far as, ironically enough, Watertown. So there you go. Oh, the thing disappeared with the thing. Aw, it went. Did that get destroyed, or did it just expire? I didn't actually see what happened with that. I don't know whether there was an expiry on it or not. Oh well, there you go. So that was a turret. It was mildly anticlimactic, I guess, to be honest, on the whole. But hey, there you go. Ooh, this is one of those. Oh, this is a scenario-ish kind of room. Wait, how I do? Oh, I do that with a pot, right? I get it. I get it. Boom. Then opens that. We take the alternative route. Route under construction. The bypass, as it were, I suppose. Which bypasses the broken bridge, because the bridge was broken. Cool. I always like finding interesting things in the clockworks. These are interesting things to be found. In the clockworks, no less. So, yeah. So, yeah, water levels. Would we stop them? I think obviously we probably would build a lot of walls and dikes and what have you, you know, just try and hold the water back. How well that would work, I don't know. If we're talking about 60 meters on a lot of the coastlines of the world, that's an ambitious project. That's a incredibly ambitious project, and I can't see that particularly happening, if I'm honest. I think the better solution would be to try and avoid the climate change in the first place that would cause that to happen. As far as technology within the next 100 years going to, you know, actually reverse that, that seems pretty unlikely. That seems... I don't know why I was working on opening this, but there you go. That seems pretty unlikely as well. If you think about the kind of amount of energy you would need to remove from something to cause it to freeze, you know, look at the amount of work a freezer does in order to freeze things, to bring the temperature down. We're talking about bringing heat energy away from the poles in order to freeze them again. That's a lot of work and some very, very exotic technology that I don't think would be likely to happen. The one thing that springs to mind is Larry Niven's Ringworld novels. They artificially created sort of frozen Arctic kind of areas by putting giant radiators on the underside of the Ringworld, but short of, you know, like a Ringworld or Discworld kind of scenario, that just kind of wouldn't work, because where would you put the radiator on the Earth? That doesn't work. So that's a very specific thing, and that doesn't work for us. No, I think the only way to actually reverse it would be natural processes, which would involve bringing the temperature of the Earth back down, which would require us to remove a lot of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, which is a lot of work. And we all need to work together, but most importantly, big business, because they are worse than the individuals by a long margin. But there you go. So, since I'm a little early, I'm going to have a nosy at Basil. I say that even when I've been talking for like 35 minutes straight, I'm going to have a nosy at Basil, but he doesn't have anything I want to buy today, I don't think, so there you go. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Meroka. Do not forget to leave questions in the comments below, or wherever you fancy. I outlined all these things earlier, options available to you, so that I will give you a little bit of a shout out next week, and I will talk about the things, and we will have an interesting and fascinating show for all. and that would be wonderful. If you wish to support me some more now that I am out of work and doing YouTube full time, please go to my Patreon. There will be a link in the outro in just a second, assuming I remember to annotate it, which I haven't been doing lately, but I will try to. Then you can go to there and you can pledge a small amount every month to keep me making videos, which would be very, very, very much appreciated, and you will get one extra bonus video every week for your entertainment pleasure. So again, thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. I shall see you next time.